Do you believe in ghosts? Well, one local organization in Danville does. They are investigators of the paranormal.
They claim they have seen, heard, even spoken with them. Our Sarah Bloom tagged along with these ghost hunters as they investigated some of the area's oldest homes. Now, Sarah, some of the homes you went into have reports of hauntings, even murders.
Len, our adventures started at Carter's Tavern. Now, that's a Halifax County home built in the late 1700s. Stories say George Washington stopped there for refreshments. Allegedly, there were 2 murders on the grounds, and there's a graveyard out back. So plenty of reason, if spirits do exist, to find them. Inside Carter's Tavern, period pieces fill what is now a home. Visitors get an easy image of how life may have looked back then and what types of souls may exist here.
Several people around in this area think that this house is haunted. We've never had any experiences here, but we've had 2 sets of paranormal people here and they've had experiences. I've never had one, so I'm a skeptic.
But VIPS, or Virginia Investigation of Paranormal Science, thinks this skeptic may be surprised by what they find here. So they bring in the ghost detecting machines, recording devices, alarms, and special electromagnetic field readers.
A spirit walks by, the light will turn on. And that's how we sense spirits in that sense.
And we were off, ghost hunting, if you will.
What's your name? Did you get shot up here? Who shot you? Was his name Jack?
No audible answers yet, but we know someone was shot and killed here, part of a lover's quarrel. A young newlywed supposedly accepted a dance in the ballroom with a man who wasn't her husband. Some say these bloodstains on the floor are evidence of what happened when her husband found them.
Apparently he followed him down and a scuffle happened and shot rang out and the young man died.
Later, alarms go off. We're not sure why. And then suspicious lights.
I'm telling you, there was something moving around the stairs.
Downstairs, investigators say they're talking to a slave child.
Seems to be a little bit of a prankster. Wants to communicate when it feels to. There's certain things that trigger it. We found different game playing, kind of silly things that, you know, get its attention.
They think I got the child's attention too, or maybe someone else's. I'm told there are a lot of orbs around me. They indicate spiritual energy, and they ask me to take a role asking questions on this K2. Basically, a yes-no meter.
I'm Sarah, and I'm not going to hurt you. Are you here? Will you talk to us? Are you married? Do you want us to leave?
Finally, a trip outside to the graveyard to visit souls that spent time here long ago. Here, investigators decided on still pictures. They hope what they capture will do the talking for whatever or whoever might be out here. And at the end of the night, our team was still a little skeptical. We were in an old home and we did see some strange things, but what was really interesting was when we got to go over the findings. That came at a later date, so we'll share some of those with you tomorrow at 6. Len, Noreen.
Yeah, I'd like to see those.
It must be fun to kind of, you know,
be a ghost hunter and
wonder what's out there.
Yeah.
If you had a chance to... You know, there really is so much speculation out there about the afterlife and the things that go bump in the night. But do you believe in ghosts or spirits?
I kind of do sometimes. I like to. And yesterday, you might remember, we investigated hauntings at Carter's Tavern, which is a historic home and we went along with a team of paranormal investigators. Sarah Bloom joins us now from Danville. And Sarah, I know you were there when the investigation was underway, and now you have a look at some of those findings.
Right, Noreen, and obviously communicating with a spirit or identifying one is not an exact science. Those who do this regularly say they can hear, see, even feel a ghost. We'll give you the evidence and let you decide. Our ghost hunt started in the dark when we're told electromagnetic fields and thus spirits are strongest.
I'm telling you, there was something moving around the stairs.
Remember the deadly lovers' quarrel that supposedly took place here at Carter's Tavern? Our VIPS, or Virginia Investigation of Paranormal Science, wanted to know more. And when they felt like they had encountered a spirit, they started asking questions.
We'll ask who shot you. And in this section right here, we got the EVP saying it won't jack.
Can you play it again?
Yes.
Was there anyone near him at the time or
No,
anything like
he was
that?
the only one upstairs.
The exchange continued during the investigation.
Why did Jack shoot you?
Tell me, who's Jack?
Here's what it sounded like when we played back the audio and boosted the volume.
Who's Jack?
And right here is an answer.
It's outside the steps. So who shot him?
We got two names. The last name sounds like Betty, but we can't figure out what the first name is despite all our efforts.
We also took a look at my attempt to communicate with a spirit. Again, here's what it looked like that night.
Do you want us to leave?
And here's what we heard on the playback.
Now, right here, you hear the word stay. It's very faint, but if you listen closely, you can hear it.
During the investigation, I also invited whoever may be out there to talk to us.
Will you talk to us?
Here's what we found on the audio recording.
Will you talk to us?
And right here, it's saying no. Now, if you highlight all of this, right here, it's very hard to understand. And I don't really know what it's saying, but it sounds like it's saying, are you deaf?
We also had picture evidence to examine.
If you look right here, you see a face outlined on the wall.
Could that be a shadow of anything else, or is that?
It could be, but there was nothing in the room that would make that type of shadow.
Is it common to see faces like this when you go back and look at film?
Yeah, sometimes, yes.
Plus, we found unexplained lines in the sky above those graves.
There was no lights in the sky at the time we took the pictures. Most people just describe that as collections of energy.
The homeowners at Carter's Tavern say they don't really believe in the existence of ghosts. They chalk it all up to living in an older home right near the woods. But we do want to know what you think, so log on to our website, wset.com, and tell us if you think it's the real deal or a whole bunch of baloney. Len, Noreen, what do you think?
I don't know. I'd like to think it's real. I think it's fun.
You know, I think no matter what the real answer is, it would be fun to go out and try and find the same things that they found.
It sure would.
They claim they have them on tape.
Yeah.
Speaking. It's fun. Well, this is one of those days where the weatherman...
When the sun goes down, do you ever wonder about the strange noises you hear? Maybe you wonder if that shadow in the corner of your eye is something supernatural. In Southern Virginia, VIPS, or Virginia Investigation of Paranormal Science, will tell you who or what may exist in your home. We sent our Sarah Bloom to a historic Pittsylvania County home with reports of hauntings to see how it all works.
We have heard it, it sounds like people are talking and nobody's there. Maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people just sort of having a conversation.
Sonia Ingram says the sound is so distinct, sometimes her family will go outside to see who's there and find no one. Others who have rented the home claim to have seen a light switch go up and down.
They were very specific about, they heard what they thought was a child crying or talking or something like that. And then they also reportedly saw a ghost cat, like an apparition of a cat that they would see on the stairway.
Enter Vips, ready to study what spirits might do or say.
A cold breeze that goes by you, a smell that isn't in the home, smell of flowers, things along these lines. Then you could also have a touch that you normally wouldn't get, all the way up to a push, a shove, hair pulling.
But most often these spirit communicators say it's just a conversation.
Also have a ball on the floor.
Here's what happened when we went back to the audio recording of that evening.
Also have a ball on the floor. If somebody would want to even touch the ball, make the ball roll, you can do that too.
Now, right here, you hear a voice that says, ball roll. I'm going to take that to a new screen for you. Right here it's saying, roll.
We kept talking that night with some success on our yes/no meter.
If you don't want to talk, that's fine. But just give us a signal that you're here. Is there more than one of you?
We even ventured out to a pet cemetery in the front yard, hoping that might start up a conversation. But at the end of the experience, we only came away with one other strong audio recording.
Now, right here, it sounds like it's saying help, but very hard to understand.
It's kind of like a loud whisper.
Well, actually, I was wrong. It sounds like it's saying get out. Or help. Could be either one.
Those are very different messages.
Yes.
I've never felt threatened or afraid by it or anything like that. You know, I think it's kind of interesting, and you know, if there is some paranormal activity in the house, it'd be interesting for me to find out if, you know, who is it.
And while these sessions may not always come with a lot of feedback for its participants, it's a started conversation, if you believe it anyway. In Pittsylvania County, Sarah Bloom, ABC 13 News.
And if you want to learn more about VIPS or how to get them to come to your home, log on to WSET.com. Very interesting story.